I am at Alternative Greens. Well, I'm just across the street. And I am about to go in, after I finish my smoke, buy my first legal pot. How exciting is that? See pot dealers be like, oh yeah, I'll hook you up. I'll text you when I get there, and then you wait 8 hours. And they always start off real good. They always start off like within a few minutes to a half hour, and they keep you updated. And then slowly but surely, they take 10 years to get you your shit. Not anymore. Now, I just walk over to the pot shop. So I was reading before I came that you have to be over 18 to buy, which I completely understand. It's the same as liquor. I can't consume it anywhere public, which kind of sucks, but whatever. And when I go in, I'm gonna have to show them my ID. So I'm about to go in, and we'll see what they got for a selection and how much the pricing is, and I'll update this after I'm done. The lineup here is crazy. So pot shop's all the way over there. Lineup. It's over here. This is insane. So I was over at the lights. Alright, so I spent about 3 hours standing in line to buy legal cannabis here in Canada on the first day of legalization, October 17th. There was a lot of speculation among people that were standing in line with me. We were discussing what the prices were going to be like, the quality of the product. People were reading off of their phones articles of other legal cannabis that had already been laced, and people were already getting sick and were dying. So it was kind of a happy and unsure feeling in the crowd. While we were standing there, we did have a police officer come by, and he was talking with people and saying hi, and people were asking him, is it okay if we smoke here? And he said, yep, it's fine, absolutely, it's legal today. Just make sure you're 10 meters away from a door or a window, and you're not sitting in a vehicle, and you're all good. So people went, oh, okay, asking their friends, hold my place in line, I'm going to go smoke. And they were going out to the parking lot, coming back. Cops were really good about it. The crowd was actually fairly calm and chill. It took forever to get through, and I ended up chatting with a really nice couple that was in line behind me. And we actually spent almost the whole time just chatting with each other about different things, the pot, everything like that. There was another group of guys ahead of me, and we chatted a little bit about things here and there, but not too much. So standing in line took absolutely forever, and it was boiling hot out. You can't see it on the camera, but I actually have a sunburn in October because it hit 24 degrees. And normally in October, it's like anywhere from 5 degrees to like minus 20 degrees. So it was very, very warm. But when we finally got to the door, it was almost like getting in line at a club, waiting to get in. There was an actual security bouncer type guy standing at the door, checking everybody's IDs before they were being let in. We were let in 4 people at a time. So 4 people would go in, and that was just so that it wasn't swarmed inside. We get inside, and it was very, I almost want to say clinical. There wasn't much there. It was a big space. And you walk in, and they had these chain things to direct the line. And up on the wall were TV screens that had a list of all of the strains that were available or were supposed to be available. The THC percentages and the CBD percentages, and a price list for everything. And they had it separated. There was the indica, the sativa, and then a hybrid, all on the list. So we're standing in line, and we could see kind of in the product. It was a big glass counter that they had the product in, so we couldn't actually touch the product. And then I get to the front of the line. It's finally my turn. I had spent about half an hour standing in the store in the lineup, so I had a lot of time to read through all the different strains. And I said, okay, well, I think I'm going to try one of each kind. And I picked out like 3 different strains. I said, all right, you know, it's legal. Let's try one indica, one sativa, one hybrid, see what happens. Get to the front of the line, ask them for what I wanted. They didn't have it, any of them. Some of them, the price names were wrong on the screen compared to the actual product that they had. Some of them, they just didn't get at all. I was actually really disappointed. And what made me the most upset is this is the product. That and these. This is the product. You cannot see the product before you buy it at all. They are all mandatory in packaging like this that you cannot see through. There's no way to see inside of this. And this is 1 gram. I'm not going to open it and show it on camera, but I don't know about you, but packaging like this is really unnecessary. Packaging like this upsets me. Now, one thing that our government keeps saying is they're going to take the money out of the black market by legalization, and they're going to keep it out of the hands of kids. So keeping it out of the hands of kids, sure, great. I'm all for that. As somebody who started smoking really young, you know, I completely understand. I have teenage kids. I don't really want them smoking pot, but it happens regardless. I mean, even with alcohol, you have kids that have older friends or older siblings that buy them the alcohol, and that's just the way it is. Every generation of kids has that. It's not going to be any different with pot. But this is supposed to stop kids from being enticed to buy or try the product. Now, honestly, I don't think that's going to make much of a difference. The other point that the government really pushes is taking money out of the black market. And I'm sorry, but after seeing the prices, there's no way that the black market is really going to feel an impact. Because this is 4 grams. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? That cost me 46 some odd dollars. Now, with a black market dealer, I can get the same amount for 20 bucks. It's not very good, but I can, if I'm really broke, go and buy really cheap, easy, through like every dealer ever. Dealers also do have a product list, okay? It's not just the government. A dealer can give you a strain list too. And their packaging, honestly, high society. I don't know if they're legal or what, but I've seen their packages around. And their packaging is actually better. And it even tells you what it's good for. Whereas this one, right here, it tells you the strain. And then on the packaging, it has big warning. Do not use if pregnant or breastfeeding. Substances found in cannabis are also found in the breast milk of mothers who use cannabis. And then it has THC, 0.31%. CBD, 0.00%. Total CBD, under 0.07%. Total THC, 21.36%. I don't really understand their percentages. It doesn't say if it's per gram or what. On the back it says 1 gram dried cannabis, net weight 1 gram, indica THC. Keep out of reach of children, store in cool and dry conditions. No expiry date has been determined for dried cannabis based on stability data. And then it has a lot number and a package number. And it has this. If you're a smoker in Canada, you know this symbol. That is on every single package of cigarettes ever sold. This little sticker. And this one is the same thing. The warning on this one is do not drive or operate machinery after using cannabis. More than 4,000 Canadians were injured and 75 died from driving after using cannabis in 2012. I find that statistic hard to believe just because I've never actually seen a statistic be put out by our government before. When driving accidents happen like that, they just say impaired. They never say whether it was drunk or under the influence of a narcotic. This one says it's a hybrid sativa dominant. And then I have another one here. Warning, cannabis can be addictive. Up to half of people who use cannabis on a daily basis have work, social, or health problems from using cannabis. That is an outright lie, okay? Half of the people that I know that use cannabis use it medicinally. I actually know very few people that use it recreationally now. When I was in high school, it was the other way around. But I have actually yet to meet a single person that has work, social, or health problems from the use of cannabis. I understand it can get addictive, right? But I don't really think it's the same as an addiction to like alcohol or tobacco or other drugs. Personally, I think it is an addictive personality issue when it comes to cannabis. If you have an addictive personality, it doesn't really matter what you're using. If it's cannabis, cigarettes, alcohol, sugar, they're all very addictive if you have that kind of a personality to begin with. Yeah, this one says it's an indica. Keep out of the reach of children, blah, blah, blah. And then this one says regular use of cannabis can increase the risk of psychosis and schizophrenia. Young people are especially at risk. Again, I would actually love to see their for real statistics, where they're getting this information from and why they're printing warnings like that. This one doesn't even say if it's a sativa or an indica at all. This one has Acreage Farms Ltd. with a phone number and an email address. It has, let's see here, package date 2018-08-19. Dried cannabis, total THC, total CBD. Oh, and if I peeled back the sticker, somebody put some writing. 104. So, I didn't personally weigh any of these. I do have some people that I know that use cannabis that went and bought actually some of the exact same product as I did, and they weighed it, and it was almost all underweight. One of them, actually one of the ones that I bought, is very leafy, and if you consume cannabis, you know that's not what you want. You want bud. You don't want trim. So I'm not overly impressed, honestly. I really don't think that the black market is going to take a hit. I don't think that the government is doing this right. Edibles are also still illegal, by the way. I don't get why. So, yeah, that one just baffles me. I don't understand why. I was reading about the legal limit for driving is between 2 nanograms and 5 nanograms in your system. 2 nanograms in your system, if you're operating a vehicle, will get you a fine. Up to 5 nanograms in your system will get you a fine and jail time. Saliva testing doesn't work. It's been proven. So unless they're having medical teams with them to test blood right on the spot, or if they're detaining people to bring in testing, I don't really see, they don't have like a breathalyzer type thing to actually do it. But yeah, I'm not sold on the government operated cannabis. Sorry, but if you're competing with the black market, you really need to compete. Forcing people to buy a product when they can't see it isn't going to help you at all. And charging more than the black market is really a really dumb idea. You want to compete with the black market, you need to sell for less. And like, not just like 50 cents less, like a lot less. And I also found out, if you're buying bigger amounts, like a quarter, an eighth, a half ounce, or an ounce, you're not getting a deal buying through a dispensary. You're being charged per gram, doesn't matter. Whereas almost every dealer ever will give you a deal if you're buying more. So, I mean, we'll see how it works out, but I really think the government needs to be adjusting things, because this is overkill for a gram, to be honest. You can't see the product, which doesn't help. I also read somewhere that they aren't allowed to tell you what it's good for, because that would be considered giving medical advice, and they're not health practitioners. It's similar to like a bartender. So, I mean, it's not hard to look up a strain, but at the same time, they should be able to tell us. If I go in and I say, okay, I have like severe anxiety, what strain would help? The bud tender should be able to tell me that. And I know most of them will. They do actually know their stuff, and they have a CannaServe license and everything. But for the government to say, well, you can't do that, is kind of ridiculous. So, I don't know. And honestly, talking with some friends that have tried the different strains and stuff, comparing to the black market dealers the exact same name, the government stuff's not any better at all. It's kind of mid-range. So, yeah, I don't buy very often. I only did this because it was legal and I finally can. I can carry up to 30 grams when I'm out in public, and unlimited amount at home. And we can actually grow plants. I believe it's between 2 and 4 per household. So, but I don't normally use cannabis anyway. But yeah, honestly, I don't think I'm gonna buy it ever again, unless they start changing some stuff. If I can see the product before I purchase it, if it's actually weighed properly, because a lot of people have been saying their stuff has been underweight, and that's not good, because who wants to get pinched by the government? Like, come on. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it.